good fish. I'm here with Barry Borden at Avon Springs Fishery at Durrington. How long have you been here, Barry?
Been here now as a fishery. We opened in late 1988.
But this hasn't always been a fishery, has it?
No, this was in actual fact just meadowland.
And you are the creator, architect, builder, what would you call yourself, of this lovely setting that you have now?
Yes, it was a vision I had when I bought the land. Originally I bought it for my wife who was took up fishing, and I bought it in 5 separate plots, each at a time, one piece at a time, and gradually got up to 21 acres of land, and then I decided to actually turn around and create a fishery. So I drew some diagrams up, and it all started from there actually.
Right, so you've now got 2 lakes here.
Yes.
One, an open one and one with an island?
Yes, we got the one here, which is just about 4 acres, and we've got another lake now with 2 islands in, and that's quite a nice one. That's a difficult one for the anglers.
Oh yes, why is that?
Well, you've got a little bit of a sort of in the back for casting. It's a little bit more difficult, but also it's a little bit deeper in places, and the fish there seems to be shy, and they do actually take some catching. You can see them, but they're a challenge to a good fisherman.
So we've got the general lake where I believe we're looking at nymphs, buzzers, etc. And then you could say that the island lake is more of a stalking water?
It is basically a stalking water, yes.
Yeah, I noticed, I just had a quick look round before we came to meet you, and I noticed that the clarity in the second lake, despite the fact that they come from the same stream, is better.
Yes, well that is the start. There's a little stream by the side, I don't know whether you noticed when you're out there, but that's actually where all the springs started from there. And there was quite a lot of springs in the top lake when we were excavating, and the water came up very, very quickly there, and a beautiful clear and cold water.
So you built this out, you found the springs. I mean, how long does it take to dig out 2 lakes like this?
It took, in actual fact, a year. We had a pump running for a year, and we switched it off 364 days after we started it.
And this was to stop it flooding while you were digging?
To keep it dry while we were digging, excavating. We were putting 45 gallons of diesel in every other day.
My goodness, so not a small venture?
No, not a small venture. It's a little bit bigger than what I thought. I bit off a little bit more than I could do, so I had to get contractors in the end to finish. I did try to start off with the JCB, but I think I spent more time digging it out the JCB out than what we did with actually creating the lakes.
Right. So what sort of depth have we got in the middle there?
We've got about 16 to 18 foot right through the middle, because we had to put a channel there for the water to run through into what we call a pit, so that it could be pumped out to keep it dry.
Tell us about your stock ponds.
Well, the stock ponds originally, it was a nursery stream that came through, and we decided to use the nursery stream to create the first stock pond, and then we built 2 more by the side, either side of it, so that we could keep a rotation of fish, and so that we could buy them in smaller and rear them on. The cycle is now about 3 years. We've now got 6 stock ponds now, and the fish now every year we have fresh small fry in, and we rear that on, so that it's all our own reared fish.
So you bring the fish on until they get to what sort of size before you introduce them to the lake?
We like to stock somewhere around about £3 up. We do put some in, some around about 2 3/4, but ideally £3 up is a nice fish.
Right, but you've also, I've seen from the records that you've had fish in double figures coming out.
Oh, we've had fish at 13 and right up to £17. But these are rascals that turn round in the stock ponds and evade netting, and they're usually there for a little bit longer, getting fat. And when we do actually catch them, there's some rather large fish.
Well, it's been fascinating talking to you, Barry, and I noticed that you've got a bucket of feed down there. Are you going to give us a spectacle with your trout that you're bringing on?
Yes, love to.
Right, let's go and do that then. Avon Springs, a trout master's water, full of big fish. It's laid out absolutely beautifully. Speaking to Barry earlier, he's done a wonderful job of this. It's a lovely scenic setting. The water looks absolutely fantastic. As he said, he did this, about 25 years ago. I'm sure if he'd done it longer ago, you know, on the old maps, there'd have been an old map and it would have shown this lake and it would have said, "Here be monsters," because there are some big fish in this water. I might be lucky enough to get hold of one. We shall see. Now, talking with Barry, he did say that when he built the lakes, he had a pump in the middle. So there's a few deep holes there. So to allow for that, I've set up to hopefully explore those holes, wind allowing. Got a 9'6" for a 7 weight on this rod. And the reason I'm going that, I don't expect to take any prisoners on this. I'm not going to get bust up. I need good, strong tackle. Not bothering with a tapered leader, I've got 8-pound fluorocarbon straight through. First off, I've got a dropper, which is a buzzer, a straight buzzer in this instance, because the fish here will take natural insects as well. Some of them have been in here for some time, believe it or not. So there's my buzzer. 4 or 5 foot below that, I've got a gold head on. Now this is a fly that I like very much. It's a gold-ribbed hare's ear. And I've gone for a gold bead because if there's 16 to 18 foot of water out there, I want to give it a chance for the fly to get down. I could catch on this one, or I could catch on the dropper. A little bit of weed out there, which I'm going to have to be careful of, with the dropper in particular, I would think. Coming up over it from the depths could catch up first, and then later, of course, the dropper. If it's too heavy, I'll lighten up. But in the meantime, I'm going to get fishing. But there's a fish move just there, just on the edge of that ripple. Just chop that short to him, see whether we get any joy from that. Let's roll this out now. If we've got a punchy roll cast, get that gold head out. There we go. Oh, that's good. That's right out over where I think the deep water will be. So I'm going to give it a few seconds for the gold head to drag itself and the buzzer down. Fish may be deep, even though I've seen a few moving on the surface. Everyone you see on the surface, there's probably 3 or 4 underneath him. I'm just picking up a little bit of weed, so I'm just going to speed up the retrieve a tad. Oh, and that did it. That got it going. We're in. Ooh. He's decided to go walkabout this one. He's on a top dropper, I think. I put a buzzer on the dropper. Oh, he's off the reel now. He's going for it. It's a fit fish. Look at that, it's a 35-yard line. You can see the backing. It gets a bit weedy up there. I'm going to have to try and get some line back on him. Otherwise, if he gets that point fly down into the weed, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the leader. So normally I'd play a fish by hand, but as he's staying out there, I can do that off the reel now. Also means I don't risk standing on my line. This is a good fish. Come on, my baby. Oh, shaking his head. Keep the tension, keep the angle. That's what it's about. This is angling. My rod's acting like a shock absorber. Look at that, I'm so keen on this. I haven't even got my net ready. Let's get it out. Certainly went well. I can't say how big it is yet. I don't think it's anything like a double. It's probably about 5, maybe 6. Time will tell. They always look bigger in the water, don't they? It's amazing. When you first catch them, they look massive. You knock them on the head, put them in the bass bag, and they shrink. Right, he's gone down into the weed. Are you holding on to him? Is he still there? He's certainly got his head down in the weed. Nope. Oh, we've got to keep constant pressure on him. No, he's wrapped himself in weed there. I can see him below the surface. I'm going to have to give him just a bit of line, hope he'll swim himself out. This is dangerous, I could lose this fish now. I'm feeling bumping a little bit. I need a good hook hold for this to work. Let's ease it off a bit and see what he does. And then more pressure. Oh, I said there's a lot of Canadian type pondweed here, and he's in it. Right, only one thing left to do now then. I'm going to slacken off totally and watch the end of that line. Give him a chance to swim out. He may have even shed the hook already, which will be a serious blow. Ah no, he's going, he's moving off. Give him a little bit more. Got to try and get him out of there. Okay, now let's see. Yes! Yes, that's got him out in the open. Oh no, I think the point fly is actually caught on something, and I can't get the pressure on him. Now I'm cooking. Let's get down for this one. Get that net out. Daren't put any more pressure on. I think he's dragging half the lake bottom with him. Get the head up out of the water. If I get this in, it'll be a miracle. Oh, come on, my baby. Come to Papa. Oh, pull it outwards, otherwise I'll bend my net. All right, let's get more caught on stick-ups here. There we are. That could be getting on for my personal best. This is close to a double, definitely close to a double. It's, before I take the hook out, I'm going to knock him on the head, and then we can have a good look at him. And there we are. That's close. Oh, let's get these lines all wrapped around him. He led me a merry dance, this one. And there's the buzzer, just in the bottom jaw. And out it comes quite easily. I was very lucky to get this fish in with the weed. It's a useful little trick that, to allow the fish to swim out of it himself. And in this instance, it worked. Maybe this is probably 7 or 8 pounds. What a start, eh? Second cast, first fish. I've only got a 4-fish ticket. I have to slow down. At that rate, we could be gone in a couple of hours. Spot on, spot on. Right, let's get my bass bag, pop him in there, wet the bag, put it in the shade to keep the fish fresh. I think this one is so big it's going to be a smoker. Well, I was just thinking about moving because I was picking up weed, so I've increased the retrieve rate just a tad to keep my flies up above it, and the result, I'm in again. And another one that wants to run. Look at that. There goes out to the backing. I don't like that out there. Let's bring that back in a bit. He stopped his run. But as long as he wants to keep his head down and just keep going out there, off the reel it is. He's right on the surface out there. Look at that. The pressure on the line. I say, all right, it's an 8 pound. Oh, he's gone. Well, that's fishing. Let's bring my line in now and just check that he hasn't broke me or pulled my knot. When he rolled on the surface like that, he could have wrapped the line around him. He was shaking his head. It was difficult keeping the pressure on. Let's have a look. This is the second lake with the 2 islands. Just been having a little look around in the water as I've been going along, and the bottom here is quite pale. So I'm able to spot the odd fish. So rather than just fishing blind for them as I was in the main lake, I fancied doing a little bit of stalking. So I've come down to here and I'm going to change my flies. Well, certainly one of them anyway. I'm going for something with a little bit more action on it, on the point. Something with a bit of weight that will get down to the depth that I think the fish are feeding at. So off will come my dial back. And I'm going to put on a damselfly nymph. And when you see this, you might think that's a lure, but it's not, honest. It is really a damselfly. I mean, I don't use lures. But, well, you make your own choice on that. Don't want to lose the rest of my flies. Put it in there. There it is. Oh, blowing around in the wind. A nice fluffy marabou tail with a little bit of sparkle in it. 2 bead chains for eyes. They will provide the weight to get it down to the depth that I want it to fish. And the marabou moves beautifully in the water. It looks like a lot of fluff now, but in the water it pulses. Because I am going to wet the fly before I start to fish. The reason being, if I just cast it, if I see a fish and cast this out to it, because it's got the marabou in the tail, it will sink very, very slowly until it's wet. So I'm going to wet it first so that it's ready the instant I decide to cast at a fish that I spot. Right, there we are. It's tied on. It's not too thick and bushy. You know, I've seen bigger beasties than this, but I'm still going to wet it now. Well, that's great. I'm into another one. Buzzer, being pulled down by the damsel. Fished almost static. Just the slightest of movement. Obviously, let's say they don't want my lovely stalking lure, they want something more natural. That's better, get them out in the open. It's a very small area to play a fish in this. Oh, get them out there into the open more. Oh, don't stay there. Keeps the one that come into the bank, this one. Not as big as the first, but easier cooking size if we get him in. Ah, there we go. He's come to the surface. I can see it's not a very good hook hold. Once the head's out like this, you've generally got them beat, so I'm just going to slide him over the net. And there we are. He's mine. I've got it. That's it. I've put my rod down. I need 2 hands for these so we don't damage the net. I'll just drag him out. There we go. Well, that's another good fish. Probably around 5. Right. Just cover that up a second so he doesn't jump out when I get my priest. And he's thrown the hook in the net. I said it wasn't a good hook hold, but should do it. How do you hold it, eh? Look at that. Beautiful tail on it. A little bit of a split on the dorsal, but wow. That is so strong. You must put steroids in with the food or something. Beautiful colour. Well, that's 2 fish in the bag now, and a couple lost. And the last one was definitely lost on the buzzer. So to maximise my chances, I've taken off my lovely fluffy damselfly, and I've put 2 buzzers on. This will enable me to fish the 2 depths a bit quicker. So I'm just going to flick it out there and try exactly the same method. I'll have to leave it a little bit longer to sink this time, because obviously the buzzers aren't as heavy. Not being pulled down in the same way. I'm just letting this buzzer set up, just pull around in that little bit of a breeze, keeping my fingers tightly on the line all the time, of course. I mean, it does pay to change. I started with a goldhead pheasant tail, started picking that bottom, tried a dial back, but there wasn't really much happening there. The buzzer seems to have been the trick. So I'm going to stick at it on this. Oh, yes, there we go. Very slowly creeping the fly around. Should have been looking at the water really. He's taken the point, this one. Not a big fish, but again he's going. Oh, this must be the smallest one he's put in the lake. Never mind, make a nice change. Getting tired carrying 2 big ones around. Just letting it creep around. Marvellous. Here we go. Small ones tend to be a bit lively. Oh, Round we go, come on. That's it, keep him out in the open a bit. Bring him round. Putting a bit of side strain on the fish now, laying the rod sideways to try and drag him out of that position. And if I come around the other way, and hopefully he'll pull away. No, he's decided to go walkabout. Like a walkies. Oh no, only a little fish, but great fun. Can't go catching lumps all day. I think I've cracked it. The buzzers are the thing. There we are. Let's get that net ready. Took the point one this time, so obviously it's not just the depth, it is the actual fly. So the last one's, because I've only had the buzzer on the top dropper, I've only caught on the top. And this was a much faster response. And over the net. There we go. Rod down. Both hands again. And numéro 3. Hee God, look at that. 3 down, only 1 to go. Out on the main lake, I was having trouble with the weed. Here the areas are clearer, I'm able to get the flies down to where the fish is. And yes, they respond almost instantly. Look at that, come on. Ooh. We can go. All right. Here we go. Serious lump. I don't think he's actually finished yet, but I'm going to get the net ready for him. Try and bring him around here. Oh, that's it. Head's out of the water now. Oh, yes. Get some spare line. And again, oh, lift the whole net out. Another lump. What a way to finish the day. 4 fish ticket. This is my 4th fish. Not quite as big as the first one, but oh, you can't odds that, can you, eh? That's perfect. Oh, I'd be tempted to go and buy another ticket. However, 8 fish this size in the freezer could be a bit over the top. Right, let's put him out of his misery. Steady on, boy. Ouch. Right, now then, let's have a real good look at him. Look at that tail. I mean, that's probably about 5.5 inches wide, that tail. That's an excellent condition fish. Perfect dorsal. There. And where's my buzzer? Out in the net again. Just shows the importance of keeping the pressure on the fish. As soon as you let the pressure off in the net, out came the hook. So there it is. Well, what an end to what a lovely day. The weather's been gorgeous, the fishing's been fantastic. I said here be monsters. I know you can get bigger monsters in this, but I'm happy with my monster. Wonderful stuff. The last fish of the day, and the biggest. This one weighed in at spot on 6 pounds. What a way to finish a wonderful day at Avon Springs. First time I fished this lake, it responds to many tactics. Personally, I found that buzzers were the best. Down in the corner, imitative fishing. But there are other guys here fishing, they're catching, using small lures, tadpoles, things like that. So there are lots of options. Due to the stocking policy, there's always fish to catch here. They're fit, they're fast, they're fun. You can have a great day out here. Barry will give you a really warm welcome. I'm sure if you go to their website, www.fishingfly.co.uk, you'll get all the information you need. I mean, I've just thoroughly enjoyed today. I love my fishing. It does say I was born to fish. I was born to fish places with fish like this as well. Fantastic. Give it a try.